It's your boy Lukemindpower. There is none before me. There is none after me. There is only the one right now, and that is me. There will be no more. It's just me right now. It's your boy Lukemindpower. Welcome to the Mind Power Show. Another amazing, blessed day to be alive. I have a special guest coming on the show today, and her name is Jelena. She's a holistic health coach, and I'm really excited to meet her, get to know her, and understand her mission, vision, and what she actually does. And, you know, that's the thing I love about this format of engaging and networking and building relationships with people who are in specific fields. Everybody has a story. Everybody has their own desire to succeed or to make a difference or to inspire. And this is why I love coming on and connecting with people. So I'm going to invite Jelena to, and looking forward to getting to know her. Should be coming up very soon. Oh, you're on the other. You got to turn your camera on the other way.
Okay, I'll see my hands then. I turn it the other way around. Sorry.
There you go. Hi, Jelena. It's really nice to meet you. Welcome to the Mind Power Show. My name is Luke Mindpower. Thank you for taking the time today to come on the show.
Yep. Thank you for inviting me. I love it being here and spreading the word. Well, both of us we do. So it's awesome.
For sure. So give us a bit of an insight. So, I mean, I've seen on your profile that you're a holistic health coach, and obviously I can only assume that you're out to, you know, provide support to people in their lives in certain areas and aspects. Can you give us a bit more information about what you do?
Okay, so what I do is I do the healing and I do the transformational coaching, but I look at it from a point of mind, the spirit and the body, what we are putting inside of our body to get better. So I look at the whole picture of the person, how to get them better. And then the second thing is what I do look at it as the people is if they have scars from particularly childhood, why is that stopping them to live their life for to full potential? I don't want to say just for better, that's easier than done, but to feel to live for the full potential.
Definitely. I connect with you when you talk about childhood, you know, because I truly believe that, you know, we've been conditioned in certain ways. We've been told from a young age what is right, what is wrong. We've been through adversity. We've been through abuse. We've been through, you know, certain things that have conditioned us and has made us believe that we cannot achieve or do certain things. And I recently, last year actually, I did a it was similar to hypnotherapy or something to do with, you know, meditation or whatever. And she actually got me to think about my childhood and to think about things in my body that were blocking me from moving forward in my life. So you mentioned healing. What does that actually entail with your position?
Okay, so the healing part, as a little girl, I was born with it, so I don't have to actually put hands over the person to feel not just their pain, but if they have a missing organ, if it's anything out of the place. So what I see everyone is their patterns and their scars where they're sitting. So for example, is if a person has got a throat issues, is it because when in the past they had issues of not being able to speak up or they spoke too much? But is it from the point of them being criticized all the time? So then sometimes develop problems on their actual body because the body is trying to compensate for what happened. So like you said, you experienced a trauma, and because based on our past experiences, we actually put that as that's how it has to be. That's our future. But I'm saying you can change it. That's not a conditioning what you have got. That's maybe conditioning because of your childhood, what you had.
So is it all in the mind, or is it emotional as well?
Both. So it's one sitting in emotional mind, which emotional mind is in your guts, and more people are saying this, that it's in the guts. As an ex-registered nurse, I always said our health comes from our gut, and our emotion sits there, but then we have got the brain. So we have to actually put the connection between the brain and between the emotions to actually sit them together. Otherwise, they're disconnected and we have got problems in a short time.
Definitely. I connect with you with what you're talking about. I mean, I had an issue last year with using drugs, with drinking a lot of alcohol, and you know, I have to say that it was a culmination of both my mind power, which is where I got my name from, and my heart and my soul and my guts. Like you said, you know, it was both emotion mixed with my mind to give me that willingness to want to change my life.
Yep, exactly right. You have to, first of all, what you have to do is you want to change your life. And sometimes we don't know how to do it. So we have to get a coach, or we have to start following someone who we resonate with it, and just follow and see what they're doing. And little bits and pieces what you're doing every day will be part of the puzzle, which you have to put it together. I'm just blessed, like I said, with the healing, I don't want to say the powers, but with the healing part of it, where people can feel it, that if I even put hands over them, but my clients are all over the world, even overseas where I don't even see them ever, and they can feel it. So you need to connect mind, the power, and the heart together with a constant work. I have to say, it's like, as you know, it's not just one day you do it once a week. No, you have to do it every single day.
Yeah. Look, you know what? I understand what you're saying, especially with, I only recently started meditating, and I used to come home in the afternoon around 1 o'clock, and I used to feel tired all the time. I used to feel like I needed to have a nap, right? And now since I've started meditating, man, my mind, like, I don't feel tired anymore.
And it's awesome. And you have to take a time. Doesn't matter if it's like 20 minutes or is it half an hour, if it's an hour. Like you see, I post my videos when I go for my walk, from the nature. I love nature. And I say to everyone, go to nature. There is no one there. Relax. Just go for it. Find the time. In these days where we're living in Sydney, it's so busy. You need to schedule your time. Get up early. Get up early. Find the time. I'm a mum, and I can do it, and I say schedule the time. It's important, that self-love for yourself.
Definitely. Self-love is, something that, a term that I never ever knew existed. And now that I know how powerful it is, because, I am doing everything in my life right now for the last, let's say 6 months, simply because I decided to put my priorities first and my life first, and I decided to look after me, wholeheartedly. Yeah. And self-love is such a major thing. I want to ask you a question in regards to adversity. So it's a question I always like to ask, because I know that we've been conditioned. Everybody's gone through struggles. Everybody's gone through pain, whatever it might be. I want to ask you, what is something that you have had to deal with, or you've gone through in your life, that was really difficult and an adverse situation?
Okay, a huge adversity from a child. I wouldn't say childhood, late teenagers is when I was studying nursing. We had a war in my country, and that was a huge adversity to see a war, to nurse in a hospital during the war. Then another huge adversity was having divorce, being in this country with 2 children, no family around. And how do you start all over again without no money, without nothing? It was a very difficult and horrible divorce. And then to actually lift yourself up, to actually go to work and start your own business and start everything from the start. So that was a hard one. That was a self-worth, lots of issues. In a nursing part was about knowledge. Am I capable of doing things? I was so young, and you had to take on board so much. So it was a hard one. And I have to say, the same as you and me, people like us, we come from I would say horrible things will happen to in our life, that we said we want to change something. We actually want to spread the word. We did not have an easy life.
Yeah, definitely. I connect with you there. And especially, it's always amazing how these difficult adverse situations and pain, it makes you actually stop right now in this present moment. I'm talking to you, you're talking to me, and actually be present and realize how blessed we are to have gone through all these challenges and to realize actually how strong and resilient we have been.
Human beings have got the resilience, and I learned this through life experience, is this, that we never learn anything when it's really good. Like everything is good, everything's, perfect in our life. We don't learn. We learn from adversity. We learn from, the experiences what happened to us, and then we have to say, oh my God, I have to do something about it. We don't learn, I don't want to say we don't learn nothing when everything is good. We learn when not nice things happen to us, adversity.
Yeah, and it's kind of like I look back at all the challenges, I look back at all my experiences in life, and I used to like complain. I used to find the negativity. I used to look at the excuses as to why I had not achieved whatever I'm trying to do in my life.
Yep.
Yep. And actually,
sorry.
Yeah, no, go on.
Because it's easy to put the blame on someone else, because we don't want to take accountability for us, that we have to actually do something. We expect someone else to do it for us. So I realized that with my children, when they become teenagers, they wanted me to do things. And I said, you have to learn how to do it by yourself. So through the life, it gives you, challenges, and then you just have to pass on the message that is take accountability for it.
Definitely. I think that, obviously I say this a lot, surrounding yourself with the right people who are going to support you, who are going to inspire you, who are going to push you. And that makes a big, at the end of the day, like you said, you have to rely, the only person you can rely on is yourself. But when you have a strong social circle, right, it's really, you're not actually in jail. You're actually being pushed forward continuously all the time.
Correct. And that's what I say to my clients. I said to them, I tell you what I'm doing in my life, so I'm real. And I tell them I'm a mom. This is how I do it. This is how I overcome things. Some things you don't learn in the books. Doesn't matter how many counseling courses or coaching courses you do. Some of the things you learn in life. And I'm always happy to give that advice. And I always find myself it's a good thing to have got a coach or have a people around you who's going to hold you accountable, who's going to push you, because your best friend is biased to you sometimes, and they will say, it's okay, it's fine. But where the coach will going to be kind of a firm, but will say, no, you have to do this. You really have to finish this off, or you have to write these things, and they'll hold you more accountable. And, it's good to have someone who's going to push you too. So, but it's the most important thing is who is around you. They will going to help you if it's a positivity. So have a look who is around.
Definitely. I totally agree with you. And at times it's not easy because, if you're trying to grow, if you're trying to learn, if you're trying to really change your life, not everybody thinks like you. Not everybody understands the way that you think. Not everybody understands your mission. Not everyone can see your dream, right? So that's the hard part.
And it is a hard part, but if you see your vision, whatever that vision is, that you want it to become, or you want to just become a better mother, a better brother, better anything, you just have to see that's the goal, and look at the little steps and take one step at a time. And more of these steps or the pavers you have got, that goal is not that far. But if you keep concentrating on the goal, how hard it is, then it will be even harder. So you have to.
But what about when you have those people around you that don't understand your mindset, that don't understand your vision and your dreams, and they you can feel their energy, you can feel that they're not on the same level as you. How do you extract yourself from that environment? Or do you just, change the conversation?
You can do both, depending on it. Obviously, we can't change our family if our family is not the one supporting us. And most of the times when they're criticizing you, it's basically they're so afraid, because they're afraid of you changing for better, because then they'll be left behind. That's what most of the times we're seeing people, they are afraid because they'll be left behind. So
that's exactly right.
Yeah.
Yeah, I totally understand and totally agree with you. So how long have you actually been doing what you're doing?
Now it's 4 years since I've been doing it, but I always been doing the healing. Obviously my ex-husband, he didn't support anything of this, but then when I was going through divorce, I was like, that's it. I'm doing what I absolutely love, and I always loved that. So I fully immersed myself into it, and I was not afraid. From time to time, you get afraid, how you're going to pay the bills and how you're going to do things. But you know what? If you're doing the right thing and you're positive, it will happen. There is struggles on the way, but you will learn how to do it.
Hey, I agree with what you're saying. It's great. I know you talk about healing, and I have this sense of your energy and your power, and I feel now with the journey that I'm on, and because I have extracted myself from my social group, I don't I'm kind of in my own university at the moment, because I'm very relentless and obsessed with personal development and growing and becoming the best that I can be. And so I don't have time for socializing or anything like that. But what I'm trying to say is, like, recently I have grown in stronger inner connection with myself and spiritually and with my divine self, if we can put it that way. And I feel very, very connected, and I feel like, with what you're talking about with healing, I'm trying to understand how deep does that actually go for you, that you are so, I know that powerful is a strong word, but if you can have that impact on somebody to be, a healer, how does that work for you?
Well, the healing part is what depending on every person, some people come in and just want to be topped up, in a sense, to get them energy. And some people wanted to learn how to become one. And I always say to people, you need to have got a gift inside of you. I can't implement one inside, but we need to clear up the mind and the heart, that you'll be able to actually feel the things. So with the healing part is the energy, what you feel inside of yourself, to connect to the divine, to the source. How do I feel it? I can't explain it any other way. I see everyone as a matrix, like numbers and DNAs running, and then I see a TV screens of your past life, what you experienced, and that's how I feel. Well, we have to fix it up. And I don't like using the word fixing, because it means that you're broken. You're not broken. We're just going to reconnect the dots back together. So do I feel like that everyone can actually be more in charge through the meditations of their, like, even the chakras and things like that? Yes, they can. Not everyone really wants to hear about it, but more and more people are hearing it around the world now, because 20 years ago you couldn't talk like this.
I know, definitely. Definitely. I know that if my mother was watching this, she would have a lot of things to say.
You know what? You have to have a faith, and you just, as long as I always say to everyone, even when we're doing the manifesting, like to say vision boards, I say to people, put everything what you want on your vision board, whatever that is. I'm not questioning it. Nobody's going to question, as long as you're not hurting someone in the process to get where you want it to get. So if they want to have a car, like, do it in a right legal way. Don't, do it illegally how to get the particular car. So do it with the right intentions, and they have to be positive intentions, not from a negative point of view.
Yeah, definitely. I haven't actually gone to that extent and done vision boards. I feel that, sometimes when I look at all these different practices, and I mean, even reading books, for example, I read a couple of books, but I know that, like, a lot of motivational speakers and a lot of entrepreneurs, they always say read books and stuff, but I am so connected with myself and with my mission and with my vision and with my dream and what I'm doing, that I am really connected with my intuition and allowing my consciousness to move forward in a way where I believe that everything is happening for me, and I follow my senses, and I'm really, really connected with my life and what I'm doing. And so I'm kind of just, I know that I don't want to say that I'm going with the flow, but I'm doing what feels right for me, And I believe that everybody is different, everybody's unique, and everybody learns differently.
Correct. Everybody learns differently. And so for the fact that you're actually wearing a yellow t-shirt, yellow color t-shirt, Yellow is about self-worth. So, and whereas the sitting is just above your belly button, the self-worth. So you are exploring everything what you are connected. I don't believe that you can't explore just the little pieces. You can explore whatever you want. The world is your oyster. So you can do it. And if you are not reading the books, if you just want to connect more to the nature, that's okay. Like a lot of things will come to you just naturally. Some of the things came to me absolutely naturally through intuition, didn't come through courses, didn't come through the books. And I love reading books, but most of the things comes from intuition. The healing part, as a little girl, when I saw what, I could see or I could do, and people would say, I could feel your energy. Nobody didn't taught me how to have this insight. I was always like that. So trust your inner gut, really.
Yeah, for sure.
And more your mind and your heart, you're going to have more intuition.
Definitely. I feel that. I feel that myself, I'm really at peace, and I'm really, really powerful with my consciousness, with my reality, with everything that I consume. And I'm loving life. I'm just growing every day, and it's great. I have a question for you about numbers, because I think there's a lot of people out there who experience this, but this is something that I've experienced for such a long time. And given my birthday is on the 22nd of September, the number 22, I always see 22, 22. I always see 11, 11. And it's I go out, I do my thing during the day, and I'm driving, and my eyes automatically look at the clock, and it's 11, 11. Is that a coincidence, or is there something more? Because I believe that there is a higher power, there is an angel, there is a spirit, there is something guiding me, and there is something connecting with me at those moments in time. And I believe that.
Yeah. Well, all those numbers are just a confirmation of it, what's behind you. So is it the spirit? Is it the guidance, what you have got? We all have got somebody behind us. So the numbers mean a different thing. So 1111 is the spiritual part for the transformation, which you are seeing it all the time, which means you are transforming. It's just confirming you that transformations are happening. And look at how much transformation did you done in 1 year on the work. It's a huge amount. So it's just a blessing, or it's a confirmation, or it's a tap on your shoulder that you're in the right direction. And all the doors which are opening for you now, look at it now compared to 2 or 3 years ago. Look how many doors are opening. What kind of people are you meeting? Who you're talking to? It's all meant to be and meant to happen when you're on the right path. When you're not on the right path, every door is closed. And nothing happens, even if we are like a bull trying to get through those doors.
Yeah, totally. That's exactly. It's like you're reading my mind. How do you know all this information about me?
Anything. I was just going to be quiet about it. Otherwise, we're going to scare too many people around.
No.
I called my business as Healing Light, and the light is L-I-T-E. It's, you see the light on the end of the tunnel. You feel lighter after the session. So it's a play with the words. But purposely, I wanted to call it like that, and just say love and light to me is the biggest blessing, to wish someone love and to give them light, even if they're in the darkness when they're coming to see me, because usually people come to see me, they're in a pretty bad situation for whatever reasons that is happening in their life. I want to give them a light, and I want to give them a method how to get to the light path.
Wow. It's pretty inspirational. I love the way that you explain. It's not too technical, and it's very understandable. And I truly believe, I know that so many people out there are robots. We're really, really easily, stuck in routine, stuck in day-to-day life, following the system of the government, following the system of daily life here in Australia. And as well as, consuming on a daily basis the, media, marketing, and all these negative information that is continuously just being consumed by our minds. And people just do the same thing every single day. And so what would you say as some advice for people who want to recondition their mind or who want to change their life or grow?
Okay, so the first of all, what I would say to them is, number one is staying at home, turn off your television, don't watch the news because there is nothing happy on there, nothing inspirational on the news. Second thing is surround yourself with the right people. Start following the people like you, myself, somebody who is real, somebody who is going to tell them a real story, not give them la la land, that will give them a real story. And then get yourself pen and a paper, start writing. What are you trying to achieve? What is the things that you want to try to achieve? And then on the other side, write it down, all the negativity, all the things which is so scary, and you have to dig them. You have to work through them. You have to work with them, but you can't work with your best friend because they'll be very biased and they'll say, oh, you don't have a self-criticism problem. You don't have a self-judgment problem. But behind the mask, behind the scar, we all have got it. We all have got a shadow, but us teach the people have the shadow behind you, not in front of you. So we all have to work through them. We all have to shadow.
Yeah, look, I critique myself a lot. I'm very, judgmental of myself, and that's just my nature of, pushing me continuously to be better and better and stronger. You know what I mean? That's my personality. Yeah. But you mentioned something about writing your fears or writing negative. What's that about? How does that work?
Because if you write it down, you can actually look at them, and you can actually look at it. Is this objective? Is this something that somebody put it on me, or is this really how I feel about myself? So for example, I'll just give example, children come in and they have got panic attacks, and it's maybe because they're trying to be perfectionists for their father, and the father never doesn't give them praises. So I say to them, don't rely on the daddy to give you praises, or even if they're adults, they still have got those issues. So there comes a boss where it doesn't give them praises, because that's what usually happens. If we don't deal with one situation, it comes back another one. Do not hide it underneath the doormat. The life will give you a different experience again, like a boss. So writing down, I'm scared. I'm not getting praises. Well, I'm not getting praises. What can I do about it? This is where I step into it objectively, explain to them through the coaching, but with the healing patterns to change the grids on them, to actually help them to move forward. Because sometimes we are so blocked up that even if you're writing affirmation, it doesn't allow you to move forward.
Yeah, because our mind is just constantly turning, and it's not, you can't tell your mind to shut up.
Yep.
You know what I mean? It's a continuous, you got your left brain and your right brain saying the positive things and your left brain saying the negative things. And it's kind of like you got to filter what you want to act on and what you believe is true.
Correct. And that's lots of things is where I say it's all about the perception. If this really happened, or is this something what I'm choosing to see? Because we choose to see. As a children, when we look at the same situation, like my sister and I were 16 months difference, the same incidents were happening in our life. She saw it totally different than I did. And 16 months different, not like 4 or 5 years. So you have to say to yourself, is this what really happened or I'm choosing to see? And sometimes that's so deeply blocked up in our wound, in our scar, that only person who can help is like a coach or somebody as a healer to actually get it out and actually see it. Is that what really happened, or is it something where we chose to see it like that? And that's why I say write it down. And when we start working, I say to everyone, get a journal, get a pen. They come back here with a notebook always, and I always look at it up of the things what they're writing onto it. Why? It's because we want to work through it. There is no shame, there is no judgment, there is no criticism. There is only let's go work this out and plant the new seeds. A good seed.
Yeah, the power of the pen and the power of writing things down, getting it out of your mind and actually looking at it on a piece of paper, it's pretty powerful, isn't it?
Yeah, it is. It's really powerful because when we put it out there in our mind or in just like thinking about it, it doesn't hold on, doesn't stick. But when you actually write it down, then you actually, and I say to the people, to children, read it, repeat it 3 times, 50 times, repeat it a day. Repeat it a day. Doesn't matter what circumstances happen in our life, we can change it. It doesn't mean that we're a bad person just because we had an abusive father or somebody sexually molested us, that we put it out there for that to happen to us. It happened, but we have to deal with this. You didn't provoke it that to happen.
You're pretty amazing, Jelena.
Thank you.
I would like to thank you for coming on the show today. The information, your wisdom, your experience is very evident and clear, and it's so professional and precise, and I love talking to you. I want to commend you for your resilience and your energy to have, dealt with, a war, for example. That's something that is, very confronting and definitely has, would play on your mind, and to go through also a broken marriage and to get divorced and have children, all these kind of situations are just very, very, very difficult. And there's a lot of pain there and an emotion that you would have to deal with. So for you to come out and be who you are right now is freaking amazing. It's inspirational, and I'm really proud of you.
Thank you so much, Luke, and I'm proud of you, and thank you for inviting me today. And for you especially, you open up and you're telling your story and you're telling other people how you can help them, and with the positivity and reading your post, it's just beautiful to have got another person who can actually help to the people and just be there for them. Sometimes that's just enough to say, you're not alone. We are all here together, and we're living this one life. As I posted that as a ticket, it's like we have one life, one ticket. So use it up wisely. So let's go help more people like that they are not feeling down or feeling, that there is no help out there. There is actually help out there with the right people and with the people who are real.
Amazing, amazing. Jelena, thank you so much for taking the time out of your day. I really appreciate it. And I'd love to have you come back on the show in a couple of months, and we'll catch up and see what's going on.
We'll do that. Awesome. Thank you so much, Luke.
Awesome. Take care. I'll see you later. Peace.
Yeah. See ya. Thank you.
Amazing. Jelena, thank you so much for coming on the show. As I said before, what an inspirational woman. What a resilient woman. And we only realize sometimes when we actually stop in the present moment and we look back at our life and actually be conscious of our reality, of what we have actually experienced and what challenges and what adversities we've actually gone through to get to where we are right now. And when you sit down and if you were to write down on a piece of paper all the things that you have gone through, and then you're here right now, you're breathing, you're alive, you're blessed, and you look down at this piece of paper and you look at all those things that you've gone through and you still survive,